So welcome to a almost sad episode of the Scrapking Diaries. Unfortunately, what day is it today? Last week now, we had a fire in the yard. It was quite large. We had 60 firemen, 3 fire engines and a HTA or something that lifts over the top and shoots down. We had 2 generators or pumps plugged into the canal, and they dumped like 20,000 litres of water or something in 3 hours into the yard. This is the only damage left behind from it. Have a look. So, Richard's famous saying, as you can see, we have 2 burn patches on our containing walls. Luckily, we do have fire retardant concrete sheets holding the yard's perimeter. Above this wall, we had 2 cameras and 2 LED lights for the evening. We have lost those, but we have to count ourselves very lucky for the insignificant amount of damage caused. 2 lights and the cameras. We could have been in so much more trouble. The fire started just behind me here, which was at the end of the scrap pile at the end of the day. And at about 11 o'clock on Friday evening, a lithium ion battery sparked a fire. It grew over an hour until our heat sensitive cameras picked it up and alerted us there was a fire at the yard. Richard was notified, then I was notified, and we both jumped in our cars and shot straight down here. Fortunately for us, West Midlands Fire Service were absolutely amazing. Hold my hat off to you. Your service and what you do for everybody is just second to none. They already beat Rich and I to the yard. They had cut the locks off the gates to let themselves in. I had turned the alarms off and I had headed down here myself. Richard beat me to site first, and I said to him, make sure, Rich, get the crane started, get it ticking over, because when I get there, I knew that the only thing that I could do to save the yard would be to start moving the scrap, which was on fire, away from the rest of the pile. I started this, and then the fire brigade called me off and said they'll take over. And very quickly after starting, they realised that the only way to contain the fire was to allow me to continue moving the scrap and try and dig to the bottom of the pile. The thing with the scrapyard fire is we've got hundreds of tons of steel here, but it's not just steel, it's full of contaminants, wood, plastic, rubber. When these sort of things get set, when these sorts of piles set alight, even down to diesel and excess fluids from cars and things like that, we depollute every car, but you can't do it 100%, even down to what your tatters are throwing off. They're very, very difficult to put out. I had to dig a path through the centre of the pile for the fire brigade. Bearing in mind the flames were like 30 foot tall, coming up to my cab while I was in the machine. I couldn't really see actually where I was grabbing or what I was doing because of the steam from the water. It took 4 hours, start to finish crane work, and until the fire brigade were happy that it was under control then. Silver lining, all of the burnt scrap that I've thrown from this section over to the left-hand side of the yard, as it was then spread around a lot more, the fire brigade had a chance to actually attack it with water and make sure that it was completely doused out. That scrap was worth more money, funnily enough. So that in a way was good, but the stress and the panic was awful. Hats off to Lee, Henry, Paulo, little Tommy. Who else came down? All right, Steve.
How are you?
Good, good.
I will.
You want to say hello, Steve?
I will.
Not to the viewers.
How are you, viewers?
This is Steve, the DeLorean owner.
Yeah, okay. I was, yeah.
So, big shout out to Lee. He only lives up the road. He was here within 2 minutes. Unfortunately though, he didn't have any keys on him, but it didn't matter because the fire brigade had already cut through the locks. My thought for phoning Lee was he is on site first, he knows the layout, he knows this, like the way it all happens and runs. He could give the fire brigade as much information to help before Rich and I arrived. Between myself and Paulo, over the 3 hours we managed to separate all of the burnt scrap and the hot scrap, and the fire brigade put it out, And at one point there was 60 firemen on site. And I just, like I say, thank you very much to West Midland Fire Service. They absolutely handled the situation amazingly, made us all feel very confident that they had grips on what was going on. And you know, it's a weird thing to say that you never actually want to see the fire brigade, but when you do need them, God, they were there. And you know, again, thank you very much. So pretty quickly, after a few hours, it was already on Birmingham Live, like the Daily Express, all the small local newspapers. I think one of the headlines was keep your windows closed, there's a fire and accident. There wasn't that much smoke off it, which was good because we had very clean pile of scrap. Most of the stuff that you could see going into the air was just steam actually. You've got to remember, hundreds of tons of steel, molten red hot. I was pulling out wheel drums off lorries and they were glowing red. And radiators at your house that had no paint left, but they were just glowing red hot. The fire brigade were monitoring the scrap pile then with like heat radar guns, but they wanted me to stay on site all night in case it flared up again, and they had a machine operator available. And then Henry, who lives just over the road, decided to do a bit of late night work. And thanks Henry for being so fantastic, but he's actually tipped, we had a loaded on ferrocene the day before. We hadn't weighed it yet, we were weighing it on Saturday morning. Henry's come in, thought it was really, really helpful and tipped all the bins and weighed them. Could you imagine? 30 grams worth of stuff as well, man. Luckily, our customer had a list of what they brought in, so we just had to go off it, pay them what the weights they sent us, and just took that as a bit of a, you know, one of those things. So Will lives like, say, 2 hours from me, so there was no point me phoning him up to come down and film the fire. It would have been over by then. Bear with my amateur videoing skills, just bear with me, see how you think. Try to do some selfie footage from the evening after the panic had like settled down. So this isn't what I expected to be doing at 3:20 on a Saturday morning. Unfortunately last night we had a fire. It was another lithium ion battery in the scrap pile. Luckily our heat light detecting cameras picked it up and warned our security team, who phoned Richard and me. We got here in like 20 minutes, whatever. Fortunately, with fire brigade were already here, they'd cut the locks off the gate. I immediately came and jumped in the crane and then managed to pull as much of the scrap away from the fire. The fire brigade stopped me, asked them then to assess the situation, and I was saying like, no, listen, trust me, the crane needs to be there, I need to get that scrap away from the pile, you know, the burning bit. We were just desperate to keep the fire from spreading across the pile towards where the Taurus is. Very lucky that it was this side, not that side. There must have been 30 fire officers, firemen on the site, 2 fire engines, and then another fire engine the other side of the wall with some massive hoist thing firing down from above. It took us 3 hours to get it under control and put it out. And look at the yard now. There is, when you know how deep the cranes are, it is full. I mean, I've got boots on and you can't even see them. We just separated all of the burnt pile here, and then we're just keeping an eye on the middle section, and we're trying to tidy it up and push some water over it. The fire brigade have left. So I'm just wading through the water now, but from experience of having a fire like this before, we have a weighbridge that is sunk into the ground. That is now flooded, and already the system is saying no comms, which is obviously it's broke. That will need new cells and, you know, fixing and bringing back to life, which, you know, hopefully will Dave from Shropshire Scales will be able to do it very early next week. But as you've seen in the last few episodes, the yard has been chaos. It's been rammed every day. I imagine tomorrow will be the same, but now we've got one weighbridge and we need to get rid of all this scrap. We don't really want it in the yard anymore. But it's 3:15, so I can't call anyone. So hopefully tomorrow, when other scrap yards that we know wake up, we can have a deal with them, come and collect all of the scrap as it is and just get it out the yard. just highlights one of the problems that actually you get from being too busy. You can have almost too much stock, which is wild. The Taurus is processing it as fast as it can, but we're buying that much in at the moment that, you know, every day we've got probably 30, 40, 50 more tonne here than we had in the morning. So yeah, it's cold now. Oh. Yes, H! So, all else to do, I ain't leaving the yard now until all the lads get here tomorrow, but Henry, he lives local, he's come. Henry, putting an all-nighter. Putting an all-nighter, lad! Putting an all-nighter. Hey! Let the music going now. It's a rave. It is. So we're going to have a tidy up in the sheds. We've got like, what, 2.5, 3 hours before anybody gets here, so it'll be a good chance to get top of the stock and that. Oi, turn your L's into W's, let's get the shed tidy, get some more stock out. From experience, I knew that the grabs themselves, a bit noisy. Are you ready? So I knew that the grab itself would be fine. The only thing I was actually worried about was the hydraulic hoses. They're only rubber and you're literally throwing them into a melting pot of steel and that. So I was very, very verbal and said to the fire brigade, please, can I have one cannon directly on my grab at all times? Because you've got to think, if that pipe had burst from the heat or the O-rings had gone on the cylinders inside the ram, I couldn't operate that grab then. This fire could have gone disastrously worse. It started in the end of the pile and made its way over to the middle of it. You guys who watch our channel know how much love and care we put into the yard, and also how much effort it takes for us to be able to buy our new Taurus. It's only been there, what, 5-6 months now, and to watch the fire getting closer to it was absolutely heartbreaking. We were very lucky it started this side and not that side. But thank you. Shout out to Atlas and their grabs, because they put up with the heat and it never stopped working. Paulo, actually, when he jumped to the second crane, the rotator pipe went on his, but it still operated. We managed to clear all of the scrap out of the way for the fire brigade to put out properly. So hopefully Richard's back from the shop with a lithium ion battery, and we're hopefully going to be able to show you guys the actual dangers that come from them. We're going to take one apart and hopefully set it on fire. Right. And I have stopped vaping myself.
Am I on TV? On the YouTube channel.
What did you do, H, on the Friday night after the fire?
Oh, big time session all nighter on the forklift. Tipped all the f***ing wrong bins, didn't I? You know what I mean? Had to f***ing try to fix it, like do a job, and created 2 more, didn't I, Forsley and Larry? Hey.
Tell the viewers what happened when you found out about the fire, H.
I tried getting over the wall with a ladder. The ladder slipped and I fell off the wall. Like Humpty Dumpty. Smack.
Gary, now don't call me Gary. No,
Who called you Gary?
I don't know, some comment.
Yeah.
When I was about 9, yeah, I said to Mum and Dad, can you call me Gary?
Yeah.
No, did you? I thought Harry was boring. I don't think I would have suited Gary.
You're getting all the comments already.
Comments are good. Comments are good. Yeah, drop a comment.
And he's got Sam Smith fever.
Yeah, he called me Sam Smith the other day. Why did you? I bet it's you, isn't it? Having all this.
It's funny though, isn't it?
It is funny,
To be
mate.
fair.
I don't mind a bit of hate. Got thick skin. On the Saturday morning after the fire, the customers. The customers. I was here all night, didn't sleep, knackered. The customers started queuing up for about 4 a.m. and it was getting light then. I was in the office trying to get half hour's sleep on my chair, and all the customers kept doing is going, "What time are you open? What time are you open?" They could see all the fire brigade and everything. And the one customer said, "There's loads of water. You're gonna get rid of it?" I said, "You cheeky f***er, man." I said, "You're not gonna ask how the yard is or if everyone's okay in that?" They went, "Oh no, sorry mate, sorry." Got horrible. What?
You know the people who don't work here, they have all the nice stuff.
That's his own stuff.
The nice business.
You have had hats though.
And the people that work here,
You're telling me that you've never been given a hat? How many high visits have you had? How many high visits have you had this week though?
one.
You always lose them, you do. Lee comes in the office, folds it up, yeah, right, puts it somewhere that only he knows,
Yes.
and it's never there the day after.
No, why?
Because someone else will take it. See,
Well, I want one of these black ones with our badge on. You don't get us one.
I don't know, everyone's had one,
You never give me one
but
of
you
them.
lose them. Everybody loses them, they'll get
Give me
nicked.
one of them. If you give me one of them, I'd say, yeah, you have H, I know you. But you've never given me one.
Do you want this one?
I only, no, I don't want. I only ever see people who don't work here have them.
That's because Will leaves in it, and
Don't
then
work here.
that's because Will leaves it in it.
Visit here.
Will leaves in it and then brings it back next time he's here. Nothing stops you taking hivers off site. Oh, back on the vape. Are you looking forward to the big... Oh, actually, when everyone's watching this, this will be the Sunday that you guys are all going to wake up hungover.
No, because I'm not drinking.
Are you not?
Nah, I'm
Nothing
not.
at all?
Nah.
Might not, that means yes.
I might.
Just
I
admit
might,
it.
I might indulge in a couple, but I'm not going to go nuts.
Well, you know what Rich is like when he gets to the bar.
Yeah. Well,
Rich is a cereal. Do you want a drink, mate? I'll get you a drink.
maybe I'll indulge in a
Rich
few
is
more
like
than a few.
Rich is like a secret. Get everybody pissed
He's a
because
secret piss cannon. He
Rich.
loves alcohol, doesn't
he does love a drink. Yeah, loves a pint. Rich does.
he? Not me.
I'll put you.
Hey, are we all getting hospital shirts?
Hospital shirts. The blue ones for his night. Oh my god.
Are we?
I've got a blue t-shirt I can wear.
Shall we all wear a hospital shirt, blue one? Yeah, you got one. You got one. I'm gonna go buy one then. It's gonna be funny. He's gonna come all dapper and we're gonna come in a blue shirt.
I'll just give you a lovely big shout out on the YouTube channel for being here within 5 minutes as well.
Yeah, 3 minutes I was here.
But Lee's running around the yard in his flip-flops going to the fire brigade this way, that way.
They're ruined.
And your feet were soaked.
65 quid that was.
Is this your way
Do
of...
I bill you or
Hey, listen, I asked for your help, but I didn't say put your worst shoes on for the
just
job.
need to get me a key and stop being
It's true. We'll get you one for your house.
this like. They could have been in 10-15 minutes prior, man.
See, it's all right walking around with the broom, Lee, but if you don't actually sweep the nails out of the path. Is this manual labour? Look at that, immaculate.
He's a
Yeah, a lot of people say that about
You've been here 3 hours.
10
Come on,
minutes.
bro.
10 minutes.
I've been here 3 hours, mate.
3 hours.
No, hour and a half I've been here, bro.
Well, this is halved. It's halved in 10
Don't
seconds.
try and make an excuse. I've been hour and a half, bro. Yeah, I'm on warrant, you know, bro.
Oh yeah.
I've got my test tomorrow. I'm on job coaching.
This is going on YouTube, not Crime Watch.
Is it? Oh yeah, I had a word with the gaffer in the office.
Did you?
Yeah.
Oh, f***ing hell, the Andersons are in straight in.
Yeah,
You know what I mean, bro?
that's what Richard said to me
Richard,
anyway,
you
but every
both
time I
anyway.
try it, oh,
Actually,
stop
I
me.
literally saw you guys pulling into another yard the other day.
Not me, you don't.
Heartbroken.
No, no, but
Heartbroken.
Hughes as well.
Queues, yeah, someone else moaned about the queues. I can't help it being the best.
No, but Richard told me the other day, you know the score, straight round them on the other bridge.
He says that to everyone though,
No, yeah,
and doesn't
but-
mean it.
No, but how long have we been coming to?
What can I do, man? And also, right, it's all right saying come round on the other bridge, I'm going to sneak in.
No, yeah, then you
But
get
there's no
all
space.
moaning as
There's
well,
no
I know.
space.
I know, anyway. You can only do what
Rocking a hard place. So just a quick one before we go to actually try and dissect a lithium-ion battery. The usual batteries that you will come across are like these, and these are the smaller version, but your usual car battery, if it says PB on it, that is the periodic table's symbol for lead. And if your battery has PB on it, that means it's a lead acid battery, like your cars and things like that. I don't know what these are like mobility scooter ones, but these are fine. These will set fire and cause damage, but they are way less reactive than lithium. Once the lithium actually is broken and oxygen gets to the metal, it self-oxidizes then. That is the issue. These do not do that. Bosh.
Hello, right, I've got a lithium-ion battery, so we can show you how dangerous these are. Where's Harry?
Professor Scrap King at your service. Bosh! Oh! Not the old Lion lithium.
It's dangerous.
Right, so, can't actually hear myself thinking them.
Do you think?
Huh?
Do you think?
Do what?
Think.
Do I think? Do I think about what?
No.
Was that a dad joke?
It was a joke.
Ah, crap, that is. Where's the tools? So, things we do for you guys on this channel, we have a lithium-ion battery and some scissors. And hopefully we can dissect it, pull the lithium out, and then show you guys how dangerous these actually are. How would we do that? So we have stolen that battery out of something that not everybody, we've stolen it out of a very common item that has become very popular in the last 2 years, and now, 2 years on, they're slowly starting to make their way down the recycling chain, and that is a vape. These are the sorts of things that hold lithium-ion batteries, anything that can sort of be recharged and is small handheld devices. So your disposable vapes, your vapes, even down to like sun cordless hair dryers, anything that sort of needs a charge. Previously, years ago, the batteries that were in drills and things like that don't have lithium in. It's a very, very new type of energy, like type of battery. Yeah, Rich. We'll film it then.
Crop it open.
Crop it? Are you on drugs? It's like a bomb, that is.
In a vape.
By the way, who did your hair? Because I saw you about 20 minutes ago with a lovely thick beard, and now you're all shaped and lovely. No, I'm just saying how fantastic you look.
A better barber than yours.
It's 3 weeks early for Ibiza though, isn't it?
I did say I'm going to book you now.
Watch your fingers. Do you even know what lithium looks like?
It's on a sheet.
Is it?
Yeah.
So do you know why it's even more dangerous on a sheet?
Yeah?
Why? It's because it has more surface area for it to react with the oxygen. Fact.
Do you know what? Feel that?
Now look. Is that going off already?
Smoking.
No way.
You want to throw it in the water?
Well, no, keep it going.
Keep it out, that's going to look.
That can't blow up already. You've never even touched it. Oh my God, that is red hot. Pass me them.
I'll drop in the water.
No, I want to get the stuff out.
You're not
it's
going to
smoking.
go. Yeah, look.
Oh my God,
water.
all we've done is hit it 5 times. It's smoking. Pass me the scissors. I want to try and get it out.
Harry, you won't leave it. You'll explode in your face. Leave it. Throw that in the water. It's oxidising.
You can hear it spitting. I'm actually scared now. You go touch it. Oh man, if I touch it, it might blow up or something. I'll lose my foot. You'll call me hopping forever. Can you guys see that though? I mean, Richard's just hit the end and pulled the wrapper off and it's already oxidising. So you can imagine something like that, which the cranes have brushed and thrown into the pile, sweeping up at the end of the day, that could have just been fizzling.
That's a single battery. Most of them in packs. There's 20 of them in a pack.
Exactly, so that's just now fizzling slowly. We shut at 5, the crane stopped moving about 1:15, for example. That's had like 4 or 5 hours of just fizzling, getting hotter and hotter, and eventually that has like blown up, causing the fire. Oh. I bet everyone on the YouTube channel is looking at us going, oh no, it ain't gonna explode, and we just look like absolute idiots. I missed him! Oh. So this is an example of a drift car, like an RC car, pack of lithium-ion batteries. There's probably 30 in there, and that's how big it is. And you've just seen from Richard hitting the one small one here, like 6 times with a pair of pliers and start smoking and getting hot. Imagine what 30 of them would do. That's what we are dealing with now.
Imagine what a car one would do.
Imagine what a car would do. Imagine if you had one the size of a container.
Imagine if you
what would happen?
aeroplanes are powered by
What would happen if your house was just full of lithium? Making milk bottles for your kids is full of lithium.
It ain't gonna work, are they? Move, just go that way.
I'm trying to not.
Go on.
Oh, I thought that was the battery, not the bin. Oh my God. Now what? Now you need to ply that out there. You need to pull that out the middle.
Where's your pliers?
Over there.
Let me round off the hole then.
So you need to try and pull that lithium out the centre of it now. Is it hot yet?
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
Do you want me to hold it?
That ain't gonna pull out. Just scissoring, man.
It's just scissoring. What's
Well. Throw it in the water.
Well, no, it's not gonna do anything wrong.
Stand back, because it's f***ing dangerous.
I am actually the definition of. I am the definition right now of all the gear now I do in my lab coats and that. Hang on, glue. Huh? I've never seen you actually concentrate on something for so long.
I'm being careful because I like my hands.
Oh, what a guy, man.
Oh.
What a bloke. Can't just start whacking it now. We've just done that. It didn't work. Does that expose it now? So we've chopped off the end of a lithium-ion battery now, and I'm hoping this has actually exposed some lithium. And apparently, if you put lithium in water, it reacts. Bit of bubbles.
Yeah, I'll keep that one over here.
Huh?
The definition of cowboys, man.
This is the
Look it
definition
in
of.
and we just
This
zoom
is
in, aren't
like. This is just how the real world works. You know what I mean? So here we have a lithium-ion battery. We have cut open, right? Very professionally with the help of surgeons and health and safety operators. Now, apparently, if you expose the lithium to water, it should react. Will, film that.
Stand
Film
back,
that.
Harry.
It's doing something. See, it's creating heat from the oxygen and the water. It's smoking. Yeah? Ah! Okay, so two things I've realised. One, I am not clever enough to do science experiments unaided, and two, there is way better videos online about how lithium-ion batteries react to oxygen and water. But what I have managed to show you today is these batteries are very, very dangerous. From the small amount of abuse that we've given them, literally hit it with a pair of pliers, the heat that's been created off it was phenomenal. That one we cut and got into the middle of the battery, and that has generated loads more heat once it was added to water. Now, the battery in our pile that set alight could have been cracked on sweeping up and tidied at the end of the day, and it could have taken 3 or 4 hours for it to actually ignite. Doesn't deter from the fact that once it was cracked originally, that's when the process started of it generating its own heat and fire. So, apologies, we haven't been able to make that more exciting and actually really easily show you the damage they can cause. But I hope you do understand now the dangers involved with recycling the lithium-ion batteries. They have to be disposed of correctly, and this goes not just to ourselves, but for every scrapyard in the country. Chucking them off in the light iron isn't good enough. We have to do something about it, and we have to find a way to dispose of them correctly, because it's not just ourselves that suffer when there's fire set. It can also cause damage to property and vehicles and everything on it.
Very dangerous things.
Very dangerous things. But they're very new. We haven't really been told a proper way to dispose of them yet. And I imagine the person that can dispose of them correctly, I bet they're charging a fortune.
Yeah, there are further.
Yeah, so all we can ask is for our customers and the public to be aware of them and not throw them in the pile.
Please, save us a lot of aggro. I mean,
Yeah. And on that note, see you next week. Hey, Lee.
See, go up.
Yeah. Whoa, hang on. That's a great idea, that is. You'll squish it with the thing.
no,
You'll squish it with the force. You'll squish it with the force. No, go on, do it. 100%. 100%. 100%. 100%.
make sure you tidy this up, Harry.
You tied it up. Whoa. Whoa! There we go.
Oh, Harry, keep away. Keep away because of fumes. Throw in the water.
Oh. Oh, look at that. It's actually on fire now. It's set itself on fire. There we go. Look at that. Well done, Lee. Thanks for turning up.